Hey, Hannah here with First Wave, the innovation lab at Delta Faucet Company. Today I'm going to show you how to install one of First Wave's latest products, the glass rinser. Pretty self-explanatory, but seriously, this is a very cool thing to have in your kitchen or home bar area, an actual life hack. Think about all your bottles, cups, and glasses that end up with residue or gunk at the bottom. They're hard to reach inside and not always dishwasher safe. But with this, what was hard to clean becomes easy. You simply press downward with your glass or bottle, and the glass rinser creates a powerful spray that rinses away the stubborn stuff. You can use it to pre-rinse for the dishwasher or add a bit of soap to wash it by hand. All right, so let's start by making sure this will work with your sink setup. If you have an open hole after installing a new faucet, or if you want to replace a soap dispenser, it's an easy upgrade. Let's confirm a few things to make sure this will work for your kitchen or bar area. First, be sure that the hole in your sink or countertop is far enough away from your faucet. You want to have plenty of room to place a glass on the rinser without your faucet getting in the way. Next, some sink areas may have a window ledge or cabinets or something that you need to take into consideration for height clearance. Otherwise, you might not be able to use taller glassware on the rinser. Our hole is in the corner of our sink and we have plenty of room. That's ideal, but there are workarounds. Just make sure you're happy with the placement. The lip can hang over the edge or be flush with the sink. Drop it in and check the positioning before you tighten it up from the bottom, but we'll get to that. If you don't have an existing hole, you can drill a hole in your sink or countertop, but you're on your own for that. This is a super easy installation that's an absolute game changer. Let's get started. All right, before we get started, there are some basic tools we'll need. You'll need an adjustable wrench, some groove joint pliers, some safety glasses, and I'd recommend grabbing a small pot or bucket and a towel for any light water cleanup. If it's dark under your sink, go ahead and grab a flashlight too. Now we're going to take our foam gasket and we're gonna apply it on this little inset here on our base. Now it's got this adhesive backing. I'm actually gonna pop out the middle first. We're not gonna use that part. Okay, set that to the side. Now I'm gonna peel off this backing. All right, this little tab comes off. We're not gonna use that either. Peel this off. All right, now I'm gonna set this sticky side down into the inset in our base. Just gonna press that in. All right, just make sure it's nice and seated in there. Okay, that feels good. Now I'm gonna assemble the rest of our base. I'm gonna take our mounting shank, just gonna slide it through the center of the base. Then I'm gonna take our support washer and slide that over the shank. Fits right in there. If you have a stainless steel sink with a lip, you'll wanna use this spacer. You just slide it over the shank, and this will keep your glass rinser flush with your sink, and it'll keep it from wobbling on that lip. Now, my installation, we don't need this, so I'm just gonna set it to the side. Now I'm gonna take my actuator, and you can tell which way this goes. If you just set it on a flat surface, you want these arms here to be touching. You can kind of see how the glass would fit over that. So that's the way that we want to install this on the base. You'll also notice there is 2 flat sides and 2 round sides, just like there is on the base here. We're just gonna line those up, set that down. All right, now it's time to place our glass rinser in the hole. Now, the hole in my countertop is far enough back that I have some play in the final position of this. It's your preference wherever you end up putting it. The most important part though is that this lip here is either flush with your sink or countertop or it hangs over, because this is where the water drains. All right, that's about where I like mine. So I'm gonna go underneath the sink, tighten it up, and connect our water supply. All right, to tighten the glass rinser down to our sink or countertop, you're gonna use the mounting nut. We're gonna thread it onto the mounting shank, flat side up. Just hand tighten it, don't make it all the way snug. Then go back up top. We're gonna make sure that the position of our glass rinser didn't move, get it in the place we want it, then come back down here and tighten it all the way up. All right, the first thing we're gonna do is turn off our hot and cold water supply. Okay, now it's time to hook up our water supply line and install our T. Now this is where you have a decision to make. You have to decide whether you want to hook your glass rinser up to your hot or your cold stub out. If you're installing this in a home bar, for instance, you probably want to hook it up to the cold side. If you're installing this in a kitchen like I am, you probably want to go with the hot. Hot water just cleans that much better. Okay, now the first thing I want to do, I'm going to unhook my supply line. So this is where I want to use my bucket and my towel, and I also want to move anything that might get wet. So I'm going to move away this, and get my towel over here and my bucket over here. Okay, now I'm going to take my adjustable wrench. Now I have a check valve here. That's because I have a touch faucet. If you don't have a touch faucet, you won't have a check valve, but the steps will be the same. Just gonna loosen this up. Okay, put that in the bucket for any water. Now I'm gonna take this out. This will go back in my tea in just a second. Now I'm just gonna hand screw on my tea here to my stub out. All right, so I've hand tightened this on. Now I'm gonna use this diamond pattern here as a reference to go one more full revolution around with my adjustable wrench to make sure that I haven't over tightened it. Okay, got that tight. Now I'm gonna remove my check valve here from my supply line. And again, if you don't have a touch faucet, you won't have this. Okay. Now I'm gonna take my check valve, set it right in here. And then I'm gonna hand tighten my check valve onto my T. Okay. Now I'm gonna get my bucket out of the way here, take my adjustable wrench, my groove joint pliers. I'm gonna use my groove joint pliers here to make sure this doesn't spin as I tighten this up. Okay, it's nice and snug. All right, now I'm gonna take my supply line, hand tighten it on. Okay, then I'll take my adjustable wrench, tighten it the rest of the way. Okay, now it's time to hook up our water supply for our glass rinser. All right, I'm just gonna hand tighten this on here to the bottom of our T. All right, now I'll take my adjustable wrench, just snug that up. Okay. Now I'm gonna hook this side up to the bottom of our glass rinser, and when I do this, I'm gonna make sure that I'm not gonna get tangled on anything under the sink here. All right, now I'm gonna turn on my water supply and check for any leaks. All right, I'm looking for leaks at the T here. That looks good. Now I'm gonna look for leaks up at the water supply for the glass rinser. That looks good. Okay, now I'm gonna clean up my area, move my battery pack back in place. If you have a touch faucet, make sure that's clear. Okay, now I'm gonna check up top for functionality and check for leaks. All right, it's working great. I'm just gonna check for any leaks now. Looks good. Super easy install. You're gonna love having this. If you have any questions, reach out to First Wave customer service. They're happy to help.